civil aviation sector, whether it's private airlines in the country or the government and its open skies policy. A standing committee of Parliament today hit out at various aspects of the civil aviation sector. Let's bring you a couple of details of what the committee, which is headed by the Trinamool Congress leader Derek O'Brien, had to say. It said, the committee notes with dismay that the government has adopted the open sky policy without laying down the necessary guidelines. Consumers are at the receiving end and at the mercy of private airlines for any kind of services. Now, IndiGo has been repeatedly criticised in the report. The panel disagrees with what the whole-time director of the airline, Aditya Ghosh, has had to say on the quality of manpower available, because he was quizzed about this, and here's what he had to say, and then I'll tell you what the parliamentary panel had to say. According to Mr. Ghosh, those who studied in government schools or mohalla or village areas cannot be trained to speak fluent English within a span of 4 to 5 weeks. Now, the parliamentary panel says this explanation cannot be expected and says the committee totally disagrees with the proposition that the students coming out of government schools and colleges cannot be trained. Now, there was also more criticism for IndiGo, and it needs to be mentioned that while we are bringing out some of the points which have been mentioned about IndiGo because they are striking, there was criticism for Jet Airways as well. But as far as IndiGo was concerned, there was criticism of the food they serve. Not so much the food, but the conditions in which food was served on the flight. The report says if someone demands food, they refuse to provide the food, even to those who are diabetic and suffering from other medical conditions. The report has also focused on delays at airports. It's noted how infrastructure lacks in our airports, how the civil aviation sector is growing faster than infrastructure can cater for it. Now, specifically on airlines and delays, the report says some private airlines are creating long queues at the check-in counters to delay the process of check-in so that passengers miss their scheduled flights. This compels them to buy tickets at exorbitant prices to travel in the next available flight. Now, there's also criticism for for officers and men of the Central Industrial Security Force, the CISF, which mans security at the airport. The complaints primarily have to do with the behaviour of these personnel. The report says the committee notes that the officials of immigration counters have no right to be rude and discourteous. So not just the CISF that I was talking about, but also officials of the Customs Department who man customs and immigration. In summary, the report says the aviation sector is in a mess. The civil aviation sector is fraught with unprofessional behaviour at all levels of customer interaction and management.
Everybody should behave properly. So that's it.
And what about the price caps?
What caps? What caps?
Like, fair will hike and all.
During the festival, it's more to go up. You see, dynamic pricing is there. So, world over it is there, it's with us. So the prices keep varying. Huh? Now, if you are thinking of floors and caps, means you'll go to the old regime where government used to fix rates earlier. You'll go back to that regime.